Well, hello again. This is day 4 of the search for the NCAR plane that went down October 23rd, 1968. Hosted by the Great Lakes Observing System, this live stream is being brought to you for those of you who are interested in tracking the progress of this search, and also to hear from those people in the field who are supporting an uncrewed mission to search for the missing plane or some of its wreckage. 3 people were on board. There was quite an extensive search at the time, and over the years, various pieces of debris have been recovered or washed up ashore. But now a group out of Michigan Technological University, supported by the Smart Ships Coalition, and a number of industry and nonprofit partners are participating in this search. One of those is Ocean Infinity, who's supplying the autonomous surface vessel, which is essentially a robotic vehicle that is out collecting data by itself. It's remotely controlled, of course, and there's 2 vessels supporting it out on the lake right now. I'm going to tap in Travis White. He's a research engineer with MTU, and he's out in the field on the RV Solon right now. This is day 4. They've covered over 100% of the planned survey area, and they've got a little bit of extra time, so they're going outside the polygon footprint of the survey area in hopes of collecting even more data in search of the wreckage or the plane itself. Travis, how are you doing on Thursday, day 4 of this search? Oh, I think you're muted. No, we still are having some audio. Can always rely on technology. Nope, still have no audio. All right. While we're waiting for Travis, we're wondering, there's 2 vessels that are out there. There's Chris Pinot is an engineer with MTU as well, and he is on the second vessel. So there's the autonomous surface vessel, which is an Armada 8. It's an 8-meter long or 26-foot uncrewed vehicle that is surveying sort of by itself. That's an uncrewed vessel. And then we have 2 other boats that are following or doing survey lines as well. So there's the RV Solon, which is Travis and several others are on, and that's got equipped with a multi-beam echo sounder, collecting data in parallel to the uncrewed vessel. And then there's a third vessel, which is another crewed vessel. That's the one Chris Pinot is on, and it's got an AUV and an ROV. So the purpose of this boat is to go and investigate targets that are discovered while they're doing the survey. So, Chris, do we have you available? Your resolution, your video feed's a little bit choppy, but we'll try and do it anyway. Do we have you?
Yeah, well, you have me. One thing to note is we are out in the middle of nowhere right now, so it's not surprising that the video is choppy. I apologize about that. I'll call Verizon or AT&T and let them know.
That's all right. People understand we lose signal when we get offshore. That's okay. So tell us about the vessel that you're on and who you're with and what you're doing.
Well, so the purpose of this vessel contains the vehicles that can take a closer look at potential targets, right? So we have our autonomous can swim real close to potential targets on its own, right? And then we also have I guess it's kind of covered up, but we also have a remote operated vehicle here, which is a tethered robot, right? That we can manually drive down to potential targets, right? So it just so happens that at the time of this check-in, like we were just fixing to put the autonomous in, like right over a potential target to let her go investigate and kind of see what's going on. So that's why I'm hanging on to it right here, because we were just about to toss it in the water. I got Ryan Williams on board. He's my crew, and my cameraman. so he's helping me out. So I don't know if this is a good time. What I'm about to do is I got the laptop in my hand here, and that's what controls the autonomous, right? And I'm about to tell it to enable or enact its mission. places in the water, and you should take off and go do some work.
That sounds great. I think we've got time for that. Maybe your cameraman could turn the phone landscape mode. That would be preferable. And then if you're able to launch that AUV, thank you. If you're able to launch that, we'd love to see it live. I'm guessing many viewers have never seen an AUV be launched live from a vessel offshore before. So let's do it.
Okay. All right. Well, here's what's going to happen. Once I start the mission, the system is going to go through probably about a minute of the kind of system test and stuff like that, and make sure it's ready to go. So maybe if you wanted to talk about a few other things while I do that, right? Ryan can continue doing what he's doing, and yeah, you will see that for sure right now.
Okay, well let's do this then. We're gonna go back and check in with Travis, and then we'll come back in a minute or two and see how you're doing. So don't put it in the water until we come back.
Okay, I won't. I will not put it in the water or press play until you come back.
Okay, great. All right, thanks, Chris and Ryan. All right, so it sounds like we've got audio working with Travis and others on board. Travis, welcome back. No. All right, we still seem to have no audio for Travis today. This is the biggest hiccup we've had so far this week, is not being able to get audio with the RV Solon. But that's all right. We'll take that any day over bad weather or interruptions in the mission or broken gear for your survey. So don't know why we don't have audio, but I wonder if got another phone you can dial in on, or all right, sounds like we're working on it. So while we're still working on that audio feed, we've got Mike Sutherland. He's with the Great Lakes Observing System, and on his screen, he's got a live feed tapped into the ASV of the data that it's collecting right now. So hopefully, let's see if that can work. Right, producers, can we put up the live feed of that? All right, excellent. So maybe you can zoom in a little bit. So here's some of the survey area of the ASV. You can see that little triangle. That's the Ocean Infinity Armada 8 that's collecting the data right now. Anywhere that's in blue, obviously, is data that has not been collected yet. That's out in the lake. This is just north of the south shore of Lake Superior, west of Houghton, Michigan. And you can see some of the survey lines with the different colors. So the different colors indicate different depths, which ultimately will get modeled into this high resolution image of the lake floor, which is partially the goal of Lake Bed 2030, which is to have this continuous coverage for the entire lake floor of the Great Lakes, which has never been done before. This is a coalition of partners around the region, really, who are putting together an effort to try and map the entire Great Lakes for the first time in high resolution. So as Mike zooms in on this, so this is the live feed from the vehicle that's collecting the data right now, navigating. And so as Travis was telling me earlier today, they've exceeded the survey area by 100% basically. And so now they're surveying extra area to try and identify or discover any additional targets. And then potentially they'll go investigate them with that other vehicle that Chris and Ryan and the rest of the crew are standing by to launch the AUV to go investigate some targets. So because of the water depth here, nearly 400 feet, it's almost impossible to identify these from the surface. The sonar technology just detects whether there's something there that isn't natural, whether it's metal or it's a human-made object. Could be a shipwreck, could be an engine, could be a wheel or some fuselage. There's different signatures that get returned in the sonar that says, there's something here needs to be investigated. And so what needs to happen then is an additional technology, because it's too deep for humans to dive. They send an autonomous underwater vehicle down, or an ROV, a remotely operated vehicle, to get a closer look, basically. And then that is able to give them almost more of a video feed of exactly what it is. And that'll be the next clue. So that's where Chris and his crew are. Thanks, Mike, for showing that. I think we're going to try and cut back over to Chris on the Thunderjet, which is a different vessel collecting this data, ready to launch the AUV, hopefully ready to launch the AUV. He was just doing a couple of pre-launch checks. So we've got...
Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is I'm waiting for the system to complete its pre-mission checks. I mean, it's very similar to, you know, like the pre-checks that maybe a pilot would perform before taking a plane off, you know? So right now we got most of the things in. I'm just waiting for the sonar system to complete, right? But that should go pretty quick. Oh, it's done. Okay, we're ready to go.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna put my mouse over the play button here, and so this is the vehicle here. As you can see, it's long and comfortable. It weighs about 70 pounds, but it can be handled by one person. Typically, we do it with two, but since Ryan is busy with with the cell phone, I'm gonna have to do it myself. So I hope it does not get embarrassing.
It looks like really calm conditions, Chris. So we're happy for you that you're not bouncing around, being thrown overboard while you're launching this.
Yesterday was miserable. So Ryan, why don't you come in here and get a little bit closer shot? So this is what I do. So I rock the vehicle kind of back and forth to make sure that all the air is worked out of it, because that affects its buoyancy, right? But I know for the pre-checks it's ready to go, so I'm going to push it away a little bit, right? So there she goes, and I'll return to my laptop and press play. Okay, I see that it's going. So that spin wobble there is the spin test, right? And she's swimming away, and shortly after she gets on her first survey line, she'll dive down on it on her own and get to work. So
now, Chris, what type of data is this vehicle collecting? Is it sonar data and video, or what?
Sonar data and still
imagery. Okay.
Yeah, so I know the total mission time, so I use a stopwatch, so I know when she's going to come back, right? So I just let this thing run, and then you know, I know that it's going to be back in 40 minutes and 37 seconds, I guess, right? And so we'll just let this roll. You know, have some coffee and a sandwich, and then hopefully 40 minutes and 37 seconds later, it'll appear. It'll appear right where you saw me drop her in.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks so much, Chris, for that, and Ryan as well. And not sure who else you've got on board with you. It sounds like there's three of you.
There's just two.
There's just the two of you. All right. So Ryan is also the camera operator. Okay. Well, thanks so much, you guys. So we're gonna have another check-in tomorrow. So we'll find out how it went today, and maybe feel free to take some video footage, Ryan, that you can just send to us later of when the AUV returns, and bring it back on board, and we'll splice that into another video that would make in the future. So I hope it goes well. I hope in 40 minutes and 37 seconds it does return. I can imagine that's an expensive piece of gear to not have return.
It's a little. It causes a slight bit of anxiety.
All right.
Right around the 40 minute, 37 second mark. Like, where is it? So.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I'm glad to see you using good old analog technology for the timer. Nothing like using a good old stopwatch. So, and probably very trustworthy as well.
You can't beat it. I know that everyone's smartphone's got that in there, but I like the thing that ticks.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, well, thanks you guys, and good luck out there today, and a safe voyage. So let's try to cut back once again to Travis on the RV Solon and see if we have audio.
Hey, Tim.
Sounds like we have audio. Hi, Travis. How's it going today?
Oh, fantastic. We apologize about the audio issue. It's another one of those little glitches that there are many of when you have this much technology in the cabin of a small boat. It's going very well out here. Today is probably the nicest day we've had on the water in terms of conditions. Every day this week's been very nice, but right now we've got about a 2 or 3 knot wind, so virtually nothing. Waves are about 2 inches, and we've been just getting a lot done. This is the first day where we hit the ground running at daybreak and haven't had a major malfunction of any sort to deal with. So things have been going very smoothly, and as you commented earlier, we've covered over 100% of the intended survey area that was drafted up by our state's archaeologist, Wayne Lizardi. And we're actually getting some bonus lines in today, meaning that we are mowing the lawn outside of the intended, that primary target area. So hopefully by getting this extra data, we may have even a better chance of finding, targets that Chris and Ryan are out there investigating with the IBR for a closer look.
All right. Well, maybe we had this question by several people that have chimed in or sent us comments or queries along the way this week. Are you able to share with the audience, have you had any confirmed aircraft targets identified thus far?
Yeah, well, I can share that we have not definitively confirmed any targets as aircraft at this time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the phone over to Wayne Lizardi, who was on board yesterday during some of these target recognition missions, and he can talk a little bit more about what they did see.
Fantastic. It's great to have Wayne back.
Hey,
Wayne, the State Maritime Archaeologist for the Michigan Department of Natural Resources.
that's correct. Yeah. So I've been up here since Monday and going out. The last couple of days I've been on the target recognition vessel, the Thunderjet. And today I'm over here on the survey vessel.
And of the targets that you have found, or I guess, indicated, and then has there been additional investigation to try and identify them?
Yeah, so we've been putting down the IVR, which is an autonomous underwater vehicle that has sonar on it. And that kind of hones in on these bigger survey acoustic anomalies. And then it also has a still camera on it, so we can actually image the bottom directly underneath that instrument. And so what we've been seeing so far are just geologics, just big stones or out of the ordinary kind of rock features, that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I think we just had the pleasure of watching Chris and Ryan on the Thunderjet actually launch the IVR. We just saw it live go into the water, which was a really excellent and fascinating to see. Well, so Wayne, then you've got just today left, and you've got a bunch of data to process as well. What would the plan be, you think, if you don't find any identifiable plane parts? Would you expand or increase the survey area, or perhaps do this again next year?
Yeah, so ultimately the goal is to find the aircraft. And so we're not seeing anything definitive at this point, but there's still a lot of processing of that data to come in the next few weeks. And at that time, there may be a potential for targets that look really, really interesting. And then we can deploy a team from Michigan Tech, later in the month as weather permits, to go interrogate some of these targets. And then ultimately, if none of them turn out to be aircraft parts, then we'll look to do, an expansion of this primary survey area next season.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, very interesting. And I'm glad to hear that you've got good water conditions today, and it's still relatively early in the day. So hopefully you'll be able to collect a lot more data, fill in some additional survey lines, and ultimately contribute to the Lake Bed 2030 effort as well for comprehensive high resolution coverage of the lake floor of the Great Lakes. So thanks very much, Wayne, for your efforts. I understand that
Thank you.
There's a big conference next week in Traverse City. Will you be there talking about some of this with your colleagues?
Yeah, I'm going to try to attend that and kind of bring in the archaeological and the cultural resource management kind of component of this project.
All right, right. Well, I will also be there. So I look forward to meeting you in person, not just over the phone and in video. And hopefully we'll have some more interesting news, I guess, from some of the data that's been processed between now and then by your team and folks at Great Lakes Observing System as well. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up for today. Travis, thanks very much for getting your audio working and joining us. Chris, if you're online, hope you're enjoying your sandwich and your coffee with your colleague Ryan. And for those of you who are watching from your home office or wherever you are, we will be doing another live stream tomorrow. This one will not be from those in the field because they'll be demobbing the vessels and starting to pour through all the data that's been collected. So it'll be a video feed from the office, and we'll show you what we have discovered so far, and also hopefully some of the model data as well, which is always fascinating to look at when you have this picture of what the lakes look like when they're drained. Now, this is just a small piece of it, of course, but hopefully we'll have some interesting video to show for you tomorrow. Please stay tuned for other Great Lakes Observing System live streams and videos. You can check out our YouTube channel at Real GLOS. For those of you who are interested in learning more about Lakebed 2030, it's lakebed2030 at .org. And of course, you can find out lots of programs through the Smart Ships Coalition and Michigan Technological University, and with us at GLOS as well, glos.org. So thanks for tuning in. And once again, my name is Tim Kearns. I'm with the Great Lakes Observing System, and we'll speak to you again another time.